I said I was going to get down here and be like Jack Scott. I can name every NFL champion from 64.
Just start making
start naming random teams. Cardinals, Vikings, Bears for 4 years.
We'll go live once Xaivian submits his DoorDash order. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Pick and Pop podcast. I'm your host, Caden Pierce, here with Xaivian Lee, and we are pleased to announce our third guest, Philip Byriel. Phil, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Cade Pierce. Xaivian Lee, you as well.
Of course. I want to start. We have some common history between you two. I want to start talking about, what is it, the Perkiomen Panthers? Are you the Panthers?
Correct. Panthers.
So these guys both went to the same high school. They did not overlap, but I want to hear about this dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Phil built the legacy there. Phil was actually generous. Phil was one that recruited me to Perk. How'd that go?
Yeah.
Hopped on a phone call.
Yeah, I got a text from our head coach. He said, "There's this guard we really want." They sent me 2 numbers. I didn't know which one was the right one, so I didn't even know his name.
It was probably a Canadian one, yeah.
Yeah, it said something about like Crescent High School.
That's right. That's right. Good pull.
Yeah, so they were like, just hop on a phone call, like answer any questions this kid has. They were like, we really, really want him. They sent me like highlights. I actually didn't think he was very good, funny enough. But I sent him a text.
Freshman year JV highlights.
Yeah. No, I think we did like a phone call.
Getting cooked by Elijah Fisher.
Yeah. No, the typical stuff where he's like, do you have any questions, like from a player perspective? And he was like, no, I think I got everything I need.
It was a quick phone call.
No more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Very, very different from our interactions nowadays.
Yeah, a little more formal.
Yeah. Fun fact. They were recruiting me and Derek Simpson at the same time. Very fun fact.
Derek Simpson.
That we just played.
Really?
Yeah.
St. Joe's Derek Simpson.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good player. Yeah. But yeah, how are your... Keyshawn Kelman.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys, fans of the podcast, are aware of him, but he was a big, guy on our team a couple years ago. He also went to Perk with Phil.
Played 1 year with him.
What was that like?
He was the exact same person and player in high school that he was now. Where he was like dominating, but he would always do one thing where you're like, Keyshawn, what are you doing right now?
Laugh.
Yeah.
I remember the summer before I got to school, he was playing pickup. I guess it was after like an injury or something, and he was killing.
Yeah.
He was just dunking everything. He was like, we did like a couple ball screens together. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have fun playing with you next year. I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten to know, who is it, the head of school, Mr. Devi. Mr. Right. Devi comes to a lot of the games. I feel like I'm Perk family now. He's introduced himself, and he's
you
big.
Toss him that follow back.
I will right after
Hollywood,
this.
Come on.
I didn't know he had a gram.
Yes, he did.
But yeah, he's Perkiomen family.
Yeah, he comes to more games than some parents. I mean, he's close, but he's at probably half the games.
I'd say almost every home game.
Yeah, almost every home game.
And then the close.
St.
He was at
Joe's.
St. Joe's.
That's right.
I'm assuming he'll be at Rutgers.
Yeah.
So, Phil, from Perk, what was your recruitment like? I'm sure it was a little unique. I think it was COVID.
COVID years. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I think I suffered from the same thing that a lot of players suffer from, where you think you're a lot better than you actually are. So, I just kind of wanted to keep my options open.
There you go.
Granted, we didn't have AAU that year, so I was just going to wait until my senior year and, hope I exploded.
You were waiting for the Duke, the Carolina offer.
Something like that. Cincinnati text. Shout out Alec Pierce,
Really?
actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Alec Pierce. Probably not listening, but maybe.
Yeah. So a lot of it was just Zoom, phone calls with BMAC. I visited Penn and then didn't really love it. Visited Princeton the same day, but coaches weren't allowed to see us in person or do anything. So BMAC recorded a 7-minute walking tour of Princeton on his phone and just told us where to walk while I'm just listening to BMAC talking to me in my AirPods. So it was definitely a little unique. But the one quote that stuck with me, BMAC was like, Phil, there's nothing better in the world than beating Penn at the Palestra and eating a cheesesteak on the ride home.
There you go.
Yep.
And we
still holds
had
true.
something similar last week, beating St. Joe's in Philly.
Yeah.
And I believe you mentioned in the post-game press conference, we'll talk about his performance later, but I think you were more excited about the cheesesteak on the bus afterwards than you were actually excited about the win that we had just had.
Yeah.
Symbolic.
Yeah.
Symbolic.
Winning in Philadelphia, cheesesteak on the ride home. Got my own cheesesteak and half of a chicken cheesesteak from Jack Scott.
There you go.
So,
but how did you commit during COVID?
Zoom. It was all on Zoom. So I got on a Zoom with, I think it was just BMAC and Coach Henderson. And then Coach Henderson was wearing just like a plain T-shirt. Just goes, hold on a second, Phil. Like, leaves, comes back in like 2 minutes wearing a Princeton basketball T-shirt. And I was like, I was with my mom. I was like, I wanted to tell you guys, like, I'm committed to Princeton now. Coach was like, all right, let's go. Yeah.
What did you have did Coach say anything when you committed? Anything funny that stuck with you?
He said he was doing backflips when I committed.
He also
good.
told me he was doing back. He was actually at I believe he was at Theo's soccer game when I called him. This was like at 10 in the morning or something. I like finally made up my mind. I'm like, Coach, I'm fired up. I want to commit to Princeton. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm at Theo's soccer game. I'm doing backflips right now. But yeah, I mean, pretty interesting times and interesting stories you have with.
Where'd Princeton first see you? AAU?
I would actually say, well, Keyshawn was getting recruited, so I would see
Perk
BMAC.
Pipeline.
Yeah, I would see BMAC
Pipeline.
and Coach Henderson all the time. And I guess that's probably...
Was Keyshawn the first Perk product to Princeton?
Yeah, Perk wasn't that good until recently. So that's when we started having more than one D1 guy on every team was around Keyshawn's time.
Fair enough.
Other than Keyshawn, is there a specific Princeton guy or Perk guy that you've played with that has that you miss having around, or that had an impact on you as a person or a player?
What a question.
Yeah, I feel like there's more than just one.
Definitely. Name a few.
First one that comes to mind, Charlie Bagan.
Charlie Bagan.
Yeah.
We never got to play with Charlie Bagan.
First introduction was elite camp. Me and Blake Peters, funny enough, were staying at Charlie's house.
Okay.
Wow.
So we were able to have some.
My first introduction to Charlie Bagan was Charlie Bagan came in and he was practicing with us, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy's killing us. Like, he was on the scout team just dishing. Like, he's 4 or 5 years removed, or 5 years into college, 1 year removed from the program, and he just like knew everything. He just knew everything on how to beat us.
Yeah, he was calling out stuff for us.
He was calling out stuff
on
that,
scout team.
Yeah, that just he was frying us. And that's a bad feeling when you're supposed to be you're supposed to beat the scout team, but it's a bad feeling when one dude is just killing you and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Charlie Bagan?
I mean, there's like, you could say
Just so many
just about
good ones.
anybody.
So many good ones.
Yeah. Keyshawn, obviously.
How about you, Zay?
Probably Borg in practice. Borg would just kill us in practice every day. At least me on scout team from the basketball standpoint.
I miss Tosan for sure. His
demeanor.
Yeah, father time.
Father time.
He was on his own time.
I like the Borg answer because Borg would get really fired up in practice sometimes, and so this sometimes the scout team like takes things like super super serious, and if like one of the main guys is having like a bad day, I think it was Jack Scott scored a bucket on Ryan.
He treated him. What did he say?
Ryan was in the worst mood possible.
He's like, that's why you're on scout team.
That's why in scout team you don't play at all. Just out of nowhere, Jack was so upset.
He was blue the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think he was picking him up full court. We were like simulating Cornell or something.
Yeah.
Picked him up, picked his pocket, went for the layup. The rest is history.
Yeah.
There was some exchanges.
Yeah.
But Phil, for the fans out there who are listening, tell us a little bit. You're a man of many talents, as we know, but the fans may not know. Tell us a little bit about yourself. do you have any hidden talents? I mean, there's some things about you that are definitely unique, but
I think the way I like to say it is I'm a master at nothing, but I'm above average at many things. So, I can cook a little bit. I can sing a little bit.
you can make a mean bowl of cereal.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, master of nothing, I'd say.
You're a huge music guy.
The biggest on the team,
Definitely
I would
the
say.
biggest music
Jack
guy on the
Scott will
team.
argue that. Blake and Darius might try to argue that. I don't think they have an argument. I think clear number one, Phil Byriel, Jack Scott, everybody else.
Actually, Spotify Wrapped just came out, and my dad turns out has a lot of music similarities with Phil, and so I myself have a lot of music similarities with Phil, specifically Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
Phil has had a huge Kings of Leon kick recently. Dad, I know you're watching, so hopefully that makes you smile a little bit and appreciate Phil. But who else is in your playlist?
Yeah.
You got all the
A
genres
little old
covered,
school
though.
J. Cole.
Old school J. Cole. J. Cole was my introduction to rap. I wasn't a rap guy until like 9th, 10th grade, and it was just straight J. Cole.
Just speaking to you.
Yeah.
The SoundCloud
I don't
era.
know why. I just liked him a lot. Bruce Springsteen, number one.
Okay.
I'll go
Boss?
anywhere, though.
The Boss?
The Boss. Yep. Shout out New Jersey. Saw him live.
You saw
Jack
him live,
Scott
yeah.
and Matalaco.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. Before last year.
That was
I
in MetLife?
met his backup guitarist in New York 2 weeks ago. Fun fact.
That's a little random.
Yeah.
Where was this? Penn Station?
No,
You
not
meet
Penn
everybody
Station.
in Penn Station.
I do meet a lot. Shout out Dan Vesey. I met Dan Vesey in Penn Station. I was just sitting
Damn
down at a
flashes.
burger place with my friend, and this guy just starts talking to us, just rambling, and he's like, "Yeah, I was the backup guitarist for Bruce Springsteen. Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
I feel like that guy tells everybody that he was
Definitely. That's the vibe I got because we weren't talking to him at all. And it was cool though.
Most random thing I've ever, like, that's a stretch. It's not really that crazy. Bruce Springsteen's saxophone guy, like the main guy, Clarence Clemens.
We were talking about this
Yeah.
in free throws yesterday.
The guy that sang the national anthem at our first game, they said his name was Clarence Clemens Jr.
Oh, and you forgot the lyrics?
Yeah, he forgot the lyric. Like, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy thing I've seen pregame. I think.
We didn't have to put the guy on blast.
Yeah, no, I thought he
did a
had a
great
voice.
job.
He had a good
Just
voice. He had a really
did
good voice.
mess up the words a little
He
bit.
did forget the words.
But in my
to the
head, I
national
was like,
anthem, though.
is this the son of Bruce Springsteen's saxophone guy?
Clarence.
Perhaps.
What's the name? Clarence?
Clarence Clemens
Clarence
Jr.
Clemens Jr.
That's a random coincidence.
yeah.
Very random.
Google would probably eat that question up.
So you got Bruce Springsteen, Kings of Leon,
Yep.
J. Cole,
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
Saw him live with Cade Pierce.
Yes, we did.
in,
State College.
State College, Pennsylvania.
Elite.
Yeah. Shout out Drew Freiberg, Princeton alumni, for the housing accommodations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Needed it.
I don't know. You could throw anybody else out there.
I feel like you're pretty diverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Focus. I would say Jack has a pretty diverse music taste, but you two share a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree with that. I think we bond over it too sometimes. He'll just like come in my room at random times. He'll be like, yo, play this song right now. I'm like, man, I know this song.
There you go.
Yeah.
What was the one song? Hustler Music.
Hustler Music.
That
That
was-
one was Darius. Darius introduced me to that one. Because one thing I'll say is I did not know Lil Wayne very well.
I do not either.
But now I do. That was my chip song video. I won
Yes,
my
it
first
was.
game chip, actually. Thank you very much. Defensive prowess.
Defensive proud. A lot of closeouts on that chip video.
Hard closeouts. Shot contests were a little
closeouts.
generous,
Fair enough.
Man,
but I'll take it.
I mean, you're a third of the way through your senior year. Has that sunk in a little bit?
Has it sunk in?
Has it sunk in? Caden, that's a great question.
Are you excited? Is it bittersweet? The closing to your Princeton career.
Yeah, I think this is my best year on the court so far. So that part of it's pretty nice, being a senior and finally playing a little bit and getting to enjoy the basketball a little bit more. But at the same time, I am 23 years old, unfortunately. Very old. So I think I'm at the
Did an
point in my
extra year of high
life
school.
where
Ready
once
to
this
join the
season's
force.
over, yeah, once this season's over, I'll probably be ready to
You're going to be hitting the LinkedIn portal?
be done with, I'll be sending out job applications left and
There
right.
you go.
Not looking for more eligibility, I
So
think.
let's look back on your time. What has been your most memorable? Let's start with what's been your favorite trip we've taken.
Myrtle Beach.
Cut that out.
Not Myrtle Beach.
No. I would. So if Spain counts, I'd say Spain. But since that wasn't like a basketball trip, like that was just kind of more of like we'll call it team bonding trip.
Spain is a sore subject amongst
Very.
our class.
Yeah.
Because
We got
this
cut
was
out.
this was going into our freshman year, and the Ivy League, because we're not technically enrolled in the school yet, we're not allowed to go on the foreign trip. And this was going into our freshman year, and the first 2-3 months of the school year, all we heard about was how fun Spain was.
Yeah.
How much of a good time it was, and we're like, yeah, like Spain was awesome. But I mean,
Crazy rule, by the way. Only one class can't go.
yeah, ridiculous.
It was our
So
class.
we're gonna miss out on a foreign trip, but that's we'll bring that up another time. How about Navy?
I was gonna say
At Navy,
Navy-
freshman year, our freshman year.
Navy was the best basketball
Because
trip.
that's right up your
excluding Spain. Navy 100%.
That's right up your alley.
Especially Perkiomen alumni Mitch Fisher, class of 2021, 2025 Naval Academy. Played with him at Perkiomen School.
He was on Navy when we played him. Yeah.
At the time. But yeah,
And his
I mean,
brother goes here, right?
his brother
That's
plays
right.
lacrosse
Oh,
here,
yeah.
Owen Fisher. Yeah.
I forgot you were pointing that out the other night.
Yeah. No, I was in Dillon Gym last night and I got to see Owen Fisher play a little basketball. And safe to say it runs in the family.
Really?
Yeah, he's got quite a talent too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the Navy trip? It was tell the viewers or the listeners a little about that trip. What made it so cool?
What was the one saying that came from it?
The one saying, accountability was
Accountability.
like the main thing that Coach Henderson kind of went with, and then he turned it into the whole like I went left, like this guy walks out the foxhole, goes this way,
Yeah.
He's dead.
he's dead.
That's on me.
Next guy up. But yeah, like you walk onto the like it's a military installation, so it's like everything's going on. Like you walk in, Navy SEALs showing us around. Like they put us on a boat. We get a helicopter tour. We get to eat lunch with these Navy kids. Like for us, lunch is like an hour, like just a chop session where you're just like doing work or you're like just gossiping or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, talking about whatever.
Yeah, they walk in there. They have 15 minutes to eat, and we're just like sitting there, like, no way, that like this can't be real.
Yeah, that actually was crazy.
But
All the plebes, they call
Yeah.
them, the freshmen.
yeah, like we got a little taste of it, but I thought that was the coolest thing, just being able to have access to all of that.
Another random topic. Phil played AAU with Bones Highland.
I did. I think we had one of the best AAU squads in the country. Xaivian's favorite player, Jameer Brickus, was our
fact.
point guard.
It's a fact.
Bones
Lethal
Highland.
backcourt.
Lethal.
Mixtape buckets.
Big Cliff from
Big
Rutgers
Cliff.
as our center.
Wow.
What a squad.
Elijah Hutchins Everett. I think he went to Seton Hall. He was our big.
So were you like
So
a
those
stretch
four guys
four?
and Phil.
I didn't play much.
What was your?
If you go on YouTube,
Is
you
this
search
We Are One?
Bones Highland, We Are One. You can see me in the back, just kind of spotting up sometimes.
Spot up shooter,
Yeah.
space the floor.
Yeah.
What was the dynamic like between you and them?
It was good. Yeah. No, like I had a lot of like friends on the team. It was just like they all like knew each other from playing like close to each other, and I was
Yeah.
just like that was my first introduction to like high level basketball because I was at a really small school that wasn't very good at first.
It's a crazy team.
Ridiculous team. We had so many good players. I thought Roddy Gale on he went high major somewhere,
ring a bell.
Ohio State somewhere.
Yeah.
Roddy
enough.
Gale.
Yeah, he was like 14 at the time, but he was playing like 18U, and I was embarrassed that he was that much better than me.
He was getting minutes over you.
Yeah, a lot, a lot more.
But hey, you're here.
It was a good squad. Under Armour.
That's
just
right.
like you, Cade Pierce.
Yep. Illinois Wolves,
Yep.
2021 UAA champions.
Were you on that team?
I was.
Nice.
Yep. Won
Impressive.
the Under Armour
Nice.
circuit. Pretty fun experience. But what is one thing, 10 years from now you're going to miss about not only Princeton, but Princeton basketball.
Just going out for meals with the guys.
Shout out to Boston College player if you've seen that clip.
No, but like genuinely, just like sitting down, like I wouldn't like obviously like Sweet 16, like all that's cool. Like sometimes like just being bored on the bus ride together, but like just like eating food, kicking it with the guys,
Doing like playing Jack's random games.
Jack,
Let's play a game.
On the
Jack
plane.
has the worst ideas for games of all time, and then he explains them very poorly, and then he gets super upset when we just make a mockery of it.
Let's create a word.
Yeah,
Z.
so his game, like he'll introduce it, and then our game is to just mess Jack's game up as bad as we can and make him as upset as possible.
And then he understands that his game actually sucks. And then we need to play another game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would fully agree. I think the off the court, I mean, obviously we've had tremendous success in your time, our time here on the court, but the off the court stuff is what I'm going to probably remember. Just, if we could, like, if you could film what we do on a daily basis and just the amount that we laugh on a daily basis, like, you can get some pretty good content.
I think Hard Cuts helps with that, but it
Doesn't capture
show
the
like
whole-
everything.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
You see the experiences, but you don't see like the like some of the interactions between the guys.
And it's funny because we have so many guys with different backgrounds and different like upbringings, but then we play a game like Among Us on the bus, and it's like we got guys like Malik and Zio who like clearly played Among Us growing up, and then you have guys like Jack Scott and myself. Were you an Among Us guy growing up?
Only in study halls for like 2 months when we weren't supposed to be playing it.
Because you got some game.
I think as I said earlier, master of nothing, but above average at a lot of things. I think Among Us falls into that category.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We are super excited to announce that
these
this
questions.
week we are debuting fan questions. So we had a ton of fan questions come in this week, and we are super excited. We could only pick, I believe we have 12 that we picked out here. So,
You want to do those first?
yeah, well, what are these different?
Yeah, they're different. Oh, no, same.
No, they're definitely the same.
Correct.
We have 12 picked out here that we'll probably go through relatively quickly, but we can each maybe touch on something. And if we get sidetracked, then we'll just take this as we take it.
Sure.
This goes to anybody, and I will also read the usernames if I can.
Shout out.
This goes to anybody. Favorite pump up song? I assume that's pregame.
Yep.
This was from K_Toi. Do you have one?
I don't think I have one go-to. I think this year it's been On One Tonight.
There you go.
Gunna.
Yeah.
By
I
Gunna,
think it gets the guys going this year.
for sure. I would say I don't have last year.
What's your pump up
last
song?
year? Last year, I became a huge Yeet guy.
I put them on.
Pregame.
Hey,
Yeet.
just so you guys know, every mixtape of Cade's, I picked the song.
Yeah, I just let Zay. I say Zay, pick a song.
Put him on that Yeet.
That is not my game. I'm not a mixtape rap guy. I'm a big country music guy, pop guy. These guys make fun of me because I enjoy pop music. But
It's more of the dances that you accompany the songs with.
that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, I saw when it comes to rap, I let Zay do the picking for.
That might be an idea for a new segment. Cade Pierce Dance Move of the Week.
I'm retired. I retired about 2 years ago.
Michael
okay.
Jordan came back from retirement.
Next one. What's an NBA duo you'll compare yourselves with?
From Top. Shout
From
out to
Top.
boy.
Top on tennis.
I don't know. Is that for us?
Is this for us too? The pick,
Yeah, I
the
assume
pick
so.
and the pop.
Pick in the pop.
My teeth are still busted.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think Zay was recently compared to Devin Booker.
I heard that too.
That's right.
Devin Booker. So who am I?
D Book and KD. Nah.
Draymond and Steph.
Draymond and Steph is crazy. Maybe like. I don't know. Malik Monk and Sabonis.
That's not bad. Well, De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis.
De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. That's not bad.
What's the other
That's
dude's
pretty
name?
good.
The power forward?
On the Kings?
Yeah. The one who hit all the threes that one game.
Keegan Murray?
Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Either of those two?
Not bad. No, for me. From Cuse Jerseys 44. Cade,
I see
Cubs
that
or
all the
White
time.
Sox? Cubs, without a doubt. 2016 was a special year for the Cubbies. And the Cubs are, in fact, my favorite team to play with in MLB The Show, which I am currently dominating Xaivian in our series. I believe it's
Here he
19 to 15 me in our series.
It was 12-7 me at one point, but I'm now washed. So this series isn't competitive anymore. Back when we were both at the top of our games, I was better. And now it's just for fun. So
All right, whatever makes you feel happy.
Yeah.
Random piece of information. The manager of the Cubs that won that World Series is from Hazleton, Pennsylvania, right next to my house. So
Joe Madden?
Joe Madden.
Wow.
Yep. True
Joe
story.
Madden.
There you go.
There you go.
Probably the greatest thing to come out of that area.
Hazleton?
Yeah, Hazleton,
Not
Pennsylvania.
bad. All right, for Xaivian, favorite Korean dish of all time from Sammy Mitten.
Thank you for the question. I don't know if I have one. I like my mom's food that she makes. Sometimes she makes like Korean food, but I don't really know if I have one particular one. I like just like the spicy pork stuff.
What are some, Korean dishes?
Korean barbecue is the most common
Korean
one that you
barbecue.
guys have probably
Absolutely.
had.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot. There's a lot of like soups, but Korean barbecue is probably the most palatable for people who have never had
Most palatable.
Korean food. Yeah,
All right, that's fair.
Favorite
NBA players?
from Jesse.
Angel Gomez. Angel Gomez.
Good pronunciation right there.
Favorite NBA player? You have one?
Started with Paul Pierce, then Rudy Gay.
Let's go. The
Rudy
truth.
Gay. Raptors legend, by the way.
Rudy
Right
Gay.
now, can we say Tosan and Woman?
Sure. Absolutely.
Tosan and Woman.
There you go.
For myself, I don't know. I feel like it switches every couple weeks, to be honest. Been watching a lot of Darius Garland recently. In class, sometimes I watch. There's like an hour and a half video of every ball screen read of his, so I just watch that in class sometimes.
Like every read ever.
Yeah.
Like
2022,
even if nothing comes
2023.
from the play,
Yeah.
He's like,
Watch that. Andrew Nembhard, I like watching. Canadian guy.
okay. I'm a big Luka Doncic fan.
Play just like him.
I got clowned last year because somebody asked me who I try to model my game after, and I said Luka Doncic.
That's a ridiculous comment.
Not because I think I play like Luka, but because I admire what he does on the court. Because he's not, he's not going to blow by you. He's not the most athletically gifted dude, but I think what he does with his change of pace and his physicality and just he never gets sped up. I think there's a lot to learn from Luka's game. I'm not saying I am Luka, but I enjoy watching Luka.
It's good clarification.
Yes, so Luka is my favorite player for sure.
All right, next up. Best food spot in Princeton from Verena Albert.
D'Angelo's Italian
Fred
Market.
Albert.
Lock of the century.
D'Angelo's.
D'Angelo's?
Italian market.
Not even close.
I agree, it's good.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I'm a big Mamoons fan recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Mamoon's falafel.
Most calories for your dollar, I think.
CPD.
CPD, correct.
Calories per dollar.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go out to eat, are you still going to D'Angelo's? Like
For a nice occasion.
Yeah, nice occasion. sit
Date
down.
night, where are you going?
For like a super, super special occasion, I think Roots.
Roots is great.
For more of a casual, it might have to be Winberry's
Winberry's is good too.
or Dinky.
Have you been to
I like Dinky.
Triumph, the new spot?
Not for food.
I have not been to Triumph.
Not
I am 23.
There you
Fair
go.
enough.
Yeah.
Not for food. All right.
On topic.
Is number 6. Is your brother Alec ever at your game for me?
Oh, I skipped it. My fault.
He comes occasionally when he can. I think he will try to come once his season is over. But he usually gets to, 2 or 3 games a year. Not bad. More than I would expect.
Shook his hand after a game and said thank you for getting me some fantasy points one week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's
Good
go.
introduction.
Number 8. Bent Spoon or Thomas Sweets from Austin Coneal.
I mean, for
Austin
me, this is
C.
crazy.
O'Neal.
I've only been to the Ben Spoon like one time.
I've
Ever.
actually never been to the
I've only
Bent
been
Spoon.
once with my mom, one time.
Have you been?
Zach Martini tried to take us there, and we looked at the menu and it said shiitake mushroom chocolate ice cream, and we left to get chocolate ice cream from Halo Pub.
Yeah, I feel like Halo Pub is more appropriate
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah, I think it, yeah.
But Darius is a huge advocate. So they have like some like apple fall flavor.
At the Bent Spoon?
Yeah, and he says it's the best dessert in town.
Yeah. Not trying to throw shade at the Bent Spoon,
Yeah.
but I think a better question would be Thomas Sweets or Halo Pub.
We can do all three. Let's be inclusive.
Sure. We'll be inclusive.
Some of their flavors are unbelievable.
But I'm Thomas Sweets.
Halo Pub.
All right.
Tiebreaker.
Kilwins before it closed.
Kilwins.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out Tom Duran.
I'll go with. Shout out Henry Durant. Too.
Yeah.
Halo Pub for the vibes. I was a Halo Pub because it has a nice ambiance in there. But sometimes I agree. I'm craving what's it called, the blendable.
The blendables are really good.
That
I
tastes
recently have become a
But overall,
brownie sundae guy.
wow.
I know.
That's
I like
sick.
fruity yogurt too.
Yes.
You guys been there? Fruity yogurt is very good. Not
Yeah.
many people know about
Frozen
it.
yogurt, right?
Yeah,
the one
Froyo.
right on Nassau.
Yeah, next to the CVS.
Yeah,
I
It's a
like
good spot.
fruity yogurt a lot.
Fruity yogurt gets the title of healthy
Yeah.
or healthier.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying that.
Banana. No, I absolutely
Great
do
staff
buy it.
though. Super
Yeah.
friendly. I'm a big
Banana
fan.
Nutella.
That goes a long way.
Smoothie or milkshake or whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
All right, question number 9. Need some Stanton content.
Oh, this is Connor Hurst. Connor Hurst is one of Stanton's buddies. DGN product.
I agree.
I don't really know how to answer that question, but we could try to get some more Stanton content.
Maybe he'll be a nice
Maybe
person on
he'll
here.
be a podcast guy.
I
Possibly.
think
yes.
he'd be a great person to mic up.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Yes.
follow around for
Yes,
a day.
he'd be
Yeah.
very good mic'd up.
But only if he doesn't know the microphone's there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, fair.
Do you have any funny stories from being on the Princeton basketball team? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Mulbolger.
Mulbolger, too.
I feel like it's hard to just rip off the spot.
Funny stories. I have one, and this is going back to Perkium and Keyshawn Kelman, the man who supplied many funny stories. But Keyshawn Kelman, one day, he was sick, not feeling the best, and somebody asked Keyshawn, "Key, a little under the weather?" He goes, "Nah, just a little sick." And that story sums up Keyshawn perfectly.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
no matter what, he will always make you laugh. And Keyshawn, we miss you a lot. Follow you at FGCU. Doing great things.
Great things.
How about you guys? Any funny stories? Doesn't have to be Keyshawn's story. Can be. But ideally somebody else.
If we're keeping it like court-wise, I don't even think I wasn't here for this one, but the one that comes to mind is I think it was like the context was Jacob O'Connell like dove for a loose ball out of bounds or something and just like slipped, wiped out, and the next day they came to practice and there was a body outline
Oh yeah.
in like caution tape around
Shout
where
out
he had
Monge right
landed.
there for
I think it was
That's
Monge that
hilarious.
did that.
That's funny.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best ones I've
I
heard.
forgot about that.
Yeah, like caution tape outline on the floor of this 7-1
Slovak.
Slovak.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any that come to mind. I will say something that I find funny is Cade on the court recently talking a lot more trash. I think that's hilarious. I feel like as freshmen, me too, I'd say too, we didn't really speak that much on the court. Definitely not to the opposing teams, but this year, Cade's been on multiple occasions I've heard him talking a little smack. So that gives me a little lighthearted feel to the game every time.
Speaking of trash talk, Xaivian Lee at St. Joseph's.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Would you like to tell us
We were
what you
talking-
said to
yeah.
the crowd?
So when we say something is a stinker, like this might be the biggest stinker we've ever seen in this program. Do you care to share what you...
You can share a story. I'm neither proud nor ashamed.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll talk about this in a second. But Xaivian had a triple-double at St. Joe's. First in program history. Unbelievable performance. And so he was probably... he probably... You could warrant saying what you said, but he... St. Joe's had an unbelievable student section, and he got fouled or something, and we were going to win the game at this point, and he looked at the student section and he was like, "This is my effing city." And I'm like,
while I was pumping my chest.
he's like,
it was caught on video too.
and I'm like, bro,
video.
that doesn't even make sense. Like, are you saying you just own the city now after what you did?
I don't know what I was trying to say. It was just
in the moment.
It was just in the moment, lost in the moment type of thing. But as soon as I said it, I was like, oh boy.
And
the student section, it was completely quiet right when I said it too.
And the funniest part was, as soon as you said that, me and Malik, during the game, I think he was going to the free throw line. We both just went, "Oh, stinker."
Not one of my brightest moments for sure.
But I guess you deserve saying that. But let's talk about your triple double. First off, congrats. First in program history.
Thank you, Caden.
What was going through your mind?
Funny you say that.
Were you tracking the triple double? Did you know what was going on?
Funny because they asked both or me that in the presser after the game, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't really too sure. I had an idea, but I fully knew. I'm gonna be honest, I fully knew because they had the stats right on the top of the thing, on the scoreboard. Most places don't have stats during the game, but theirs was
at least the rebounds and assists.
Yeah, it was right on top of where the points are. So you could just every time I look at the score, you can see every time. So I knew. If I recall correctly, I think I had 10 and 8 rebounds and assists with 14 or 15 minutes left.
Yeah, in the first half, I looked up and you had 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists or something.
Yeah,
I'm
so
holy crap.
So I was at that point with 14 minutes, I was I'm for sure gonna get it. I was just focused on winning the game, to be honest. But then it was we got down the stretch, and there was 3 minutes left, and my stats hadn't changed at all. So I was might have to scrap this one. Let's just try and win the game. You don't, when we're playing, you don't really think about how you're gonna get an assist or a rebound at all. So I was oh well, close again.
Your 9th assist was to Phil banging a 3. I think his 6th of the game.
Play right after.
And then your 10th assist was the and one to me, and then the free throw afterwards
was the stinker of the century.
I airballed the free throw.
There's a lot of stuff going on in that game, to be fair. Phil had the game of his career. Cade airballed the free throw.
Yep, I did.
Claims he didn't airball.
To be fair,
multiple sourses told me that it nicked front iron.
I thought it nicked.
So I'm hanging on to that.
And then proceeded to airball at practice.
No, I didn't.
Right after too.
Nicked front iron.
Nicked front iron, yeah. But yeah. To be honest, the triple double, I felt it was just because guys were hitting more shots. If I'm going to be completely honest,
we were making shots that game.
Phil hit 6
threes.
I think 4 of them were from me, and 2 or 3 were contested. Yeah. Seals came off the bench, drilled one. Russ hit a contested one early. I had 2 dump offs to Malik, and then you at the end. So there's kind of a lot of games where we have those opportunities, whether or not we make shots at the end of the day sometimes.
Yeah, you had been telling me this whole year, this is the game where I get the triple double.
Yeah, I said before every game.
Before every game, he's this is the game. This is the game. I'm all right, dude. Let's just win the game. If you get the triple double, that's a bonus, and we did both. So
perfect.
I never thought it was gonna happen, honestly.
Really?
I'm a hater, I guess, but I mean, a triple double in college, there's probably 5 a year, maybe, if I had to guess. Maybe, and so it's pretty impressive. So congratulate you.
You're next, kid.
But I don't know. But yeah, 6 threes. Talk about that a little bit. How did that feel?
I will say before the game, right before tip-off, when St. Joe's was coming out and we were all huddled, Phil was like, yes, this is like a high school gym. Like, I feel great. I was like, all right, Phil, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that. And then he came out and banged 6 of them. So
Yeah. I think when you walk in a gym like that and like the depth perception is just like
It is a shooter's gym.
Yeah, it's a
Feels
shooter's
like
gym,
the
I
gyms
think.
you grow up shooting.
Yeah.
for sure.
So I was just happy that
And the rims feel nice too. Like
Yeah.
they're not too.
yeah, they're forgiving. I
Yeah,
think.
for
That
sure.
was an awesome. That game as a whole was awesome, but specifically when you were drilling threes, because
Yeah.
like we're so used to this in practice, and like whenever, specifically Phil, because it's just his personality, but like when you were making threes, like I was laughing on the court.
Yes,
like,
us knowing Phil is probably very different seeing him kill or
Yeah.
fry or whatever you want to call it compared to the regular person watching the game because we know him so personally. There's also a tweet after a game from a St. Joe's fan that said, I don't know how we're getting killed by this random. That made
Yeah.
me laugh.
That's fair. I think.
I saw a tweet saying like I'm betting on Philip Byriel to win Ivy League Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the best way to lose your money right there.
legacy game.
Yeah.
Legacy
No.
game for the kid.
It's
All right,
just, it's so easy to make shots when you just have players like Cade Pierce and Xaivian Lee,
Come on.
carving up the defense.
How kind.
Yeah.
How kind. We got a couple more questions. Might as well wrap this up. We got for Caden. What is your pregame routine? Do you have any superstitions? Big fan from Kelsey Wozniak. Shout out.
Kelsey Wozniak. Shout out Kelsey Wozniak. She's a Princeton women's soccer player. It was pregame routine. Superstitions.
Or superstitions.
Not really, honestly. I mean,
He's just so used to this.
I wear I wear wrist tape in the game.
That's the next question.
That's the next question. Oh, well, that's directed at you. I guess we both wear wrist tape. My reason may be different than your reason, but coming in as a freshman, I used to wear a Whoop bracelet. You know, it tracks like your whatever. It's like a Fitbit almost. And I wore it all summer long going into my freshman year, and I got here. And I play a ton of golf in the summer, so I have the craziest tan lines. That's probably why I still have like a farmer's tan now. But I came in, and I never took the Whoop off, and so I took the Whoop off for media day. And I'm like, holy crap, I have an absurd tan line right now. And so I needed, like, I taped my wrist for media day to cover up the tan line. I'm like, all right, hopefully this is good by the season. And, like, I still have a little bit of a tan line. But I just stuck with the wrist tape. So I've taped my wrist every game since then. It's like a little superpower thing. But I guess that's
Fair
not
enough.
really superstition, but...
Pregame routine.
Do you guys put like your shoes on in a certain order? Shoes
I
and
put my
socks?
right one on first, but I don't think that's
Do-
like...
do you go
that's
like-
just like habit.
Yeah, but like I go right sock, right shoe, left shoe, then tie the right shoe, tie the left shoe.
I do that as well.
Is that like just that's habit? I don't think it's like a superstition.
I feel
You
like
put
that...
both shoes on and then tie them. You don't put the right on, tie it left.
Oh,
tie.
you're that guy. So you put the right on tie
I do the same as you.
before the left is even on. That seems like
No, I don't.
That seems like a crime.
I don't do that.
You put them on any time.
Yeah.
So what's the reason for your wrist tape?
He thinks it looks cool.
I started wearing it because I didn't wear it freshman year. You and Jack wore it freshman year. And then coming into sophomore year, I had like sprained my left wrist playing in the summer. So I was doing it then just to like feel good or like not have too much movement. And then once that healed, I just kept doing it. I was playing well at the start.
That little piece of tape that we put on does not give any stability for your wrist.
Yeah,
It has
not
nothing to do
Not much.
with medical reasons.
Not much. Definitely not anymore. But no, back then I was taping because it felt a little better. It felt a little more stable. I also usually like wear wristbands and stuff. So kind of sometimes, I don't know, maybe feel naked without them. So the wrist tape helps. But you and Jack did it too. It's been, I think Tosan might have done it too. Someone else did it.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But no real reason. Just
Would
aesthetic
you ever?
probably.
Do you wear a headband in the game? The little
yeah,
mini one.
the little thin one.
I don't know. I think that might be the next step for me.
Headband?
I think you might need a little bit more hair.
Yeah. If I build up the courage to
I don't
grow
see
out my
you.
hair again.
I don't see
I
you
used
with
to have
headband.
really long hair when I was younger, but I could rock a headband. I think I would rock a
You can go
headband.
for
I don't
it.
know if I could rock it.
Your hair is almost at a
The
headband.
fans at
Have you-
Furman were telling me to wear a headband.
They
You got
have
that?
worn one?
Briefly, I was wearing yours end of freshman year when we were working out. Do you remember when I asked you for one?
Yeah.
But never in a game.
Yeah.
I got to cut my hair, to be honest.
Go back to buzz cut.
I don't know about
Sophomore
all that.
year, you had a buzz cut for early on.
In the
Start of the
summer.
year.
In the summer, yeah.
What was the thought process there, Xavian? Would you like
Just
to walk us through that?
locking in.
Lock in.
Just lock in. Restart.
Yeah.
A little refresher. I don't know about now, though.
All right. Is that it?
I think we can call it. I think that was a good
think
episode.
Yeah, so that's episode 3 of the Pick and Pop podcast. Phil, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really
Um,
appreciate it.
Fans, hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll be back hopefully soon with episode 4.